I don't know why I'm entering like that. Okay, that's okay. Hi, welcome. It's me. I am here coming to you from the distant past. I today am going to be building some miniature backdrops that we're going to be using. I want to say in an upcoming stream, but it's happened for you before. Anyway, I'm building something that I feel like you've already seen. So, great. What I want to build is these little backdrops for, like little miniature backdrops for use in like a Zoom setting. I'm kind of obsessed with, okay, y'all, the pandemic. We know. So I thought it was really interesting during the pandemic that we got to sort of glimpse people's living spaces. And when we talk about, I feel like I'm shuffling. If we're talking about characters, it's really important, usually, mostly, to meet a character in a space that describes them as well. Describes them, at least at that point in the story when we meet them, at the start of their arc. And I think during a lot of Zoom meetings for work or with meeting with people or just visiting with friends, and it wasn't always Zoom because I'm old, it was like Skype. It was really cool to see like what people were willing to allow you to see in their living space. Sometimes it was just like basic, like a wall, a painting. Sometimes it was just full on, here's all of it. Anyways, DS2 and I want to just show you what went into just that little bit of Furcos and Solas, their sort of wayward transmission we picked up. So, that's what we're gonna do. I hate spending money, so we've got just stuff that I already had, for the most part. So I love cardboard, and we're gonna be building our backdrops, constructing like the superstructure out of cardboard, which is super easy. So I think what we'll do is what I just said. This is going horribly. No, it's going great. You're doing great. Okay, so I have my sketches here that I did a while back of what I sort of want to achieve. We can look at those. Don't look. We can look just at these two sketches, and we can kind of decide what materials we're gonna make it out of. So, okay, we want to learn as much as we can about a character in that 1 second that you see them in their space, whether they're aesthetic, with their space, against their space, whatever, it needs to tell you a story. So the two characters we're looking at are Solas and Furcos. Solas is a sensitive, beautiful, thoughtful, ordered soul. He, like me, is perfect. And I want to make his space really perfect and delightful. So this worked better in my head. I could scan it. Okay, so Solas is more so like a sorcerer archetype, diviner, star watcher, that sort of a thing. And also sort of holds a priest's place in the hierarchy of the society, like, and also is into like the mystic qualities. So we've got a lot of iconography that's important to their culture. These lines are really sort of important to Solas, to the culture that Solas belongs to, and we'll talk about them on the. Oh, the water heater's going now. We'll talk about them on the stream, of course. We're getting rigidity to aesthetic, right, with Solas. We've also got these weird like spheres, these palantir-looking things. We'll also have some colored light coming in through colored glass, which will give us much more of a sorcerer's vibe as well. And then we've got like sort of the central part, which is like an open balcony, open to the desert, and that will show us a little bit of the outside environment that Solas is protecting himself from. All of that was nonsense. Okay, so Solas, perfect, beautiful, wonderful. Furcos. Let me try to turn this time, so we'll have a. We're cinematographers. Furcos is an asshole. Furcos is like masculinity, like a pustule that somehow grew legs, and instead of pus, it's filled with testosterone. And just this sack of testosterone drives his every decision. He's a mutant man, is what I'm saying. And, if we're to compare him to, say, Solas, who is perfect and beautiful in every way, I would say that Furcos is ugly and disgusting in every way, but he's really, into it. The culture that Furcos belongs to, they're really into violence and feats of strength, and blood and death and screaming and agony and misery. And they're also really religious. I don't know how that correlates. So if Solas positions himself low in the city where he gets beautiful vistas, it makes sense that if the lower in the city you get beautiful vistas, don't worry about it. Then Furcos, whom Solas fervently hates, would probably be at the other end of the spectrum. So he would be up where there's more hovels and caves realness, goblin realness, the descent realness. So we did his more of it's kind of hard to discern, but it more of a hovel. So there's some rock, there's a little alcove. We found it. Anyway, it's poo-poo doo-doo compared to Solas's because, well, it's all what Furcos deserves. So essentially we'll be shooting the backdrops. Once they're constructed, we'll be shooting the backdrops as a plate. So a plate in VFX is you'll set up a shot on sticks on a tripod and let it run and get the live action plate of the visual, where the visual effect is taking place. So if you have some kind of CG creature walking through the scene, you would get just an empty shot so that they can be composited in. I feel at this juncture, I'm not sure how long those little Furcos and Solas' little cameo, I'm not sure how long that is, but I would imagine we'll probably just shoot for 5 or 10 minutes so we can get different events, wind rustling, or in the case of Furcos, we might have some rocks falling from the ceiling or something like that just to give it some life. We'll definitely put some fog element in there. So yeah, let's do it. We've also got, I will say about 2 things really. I bought some clay because I didn't have any. Also, do you like this? This is for pure aesthetic. It's hot and smelly. Don't tell me it looks bad though. You can't tell me it looks bad. Because it doesn't! Anyway, I bought clay. I bought some clay. And I bought this styrofoam block. I think we're gonna use that for Furcos. We're gonna carve us some styrofoam rock enclosures, whatever that word was that I couldn't think of earlier. Okay. That was loud. So I had, look at this. This is so cute. I don't know, I've had this for 10 years. I have no idea what it's for. It's little cherubs. And I just think it's so cute, but I don't live for cherubs in this world, so I don't know. I just found it. Right. So the first step is I want to draw out our little design here, and you know what? Measurements are for the birds. So I'm an eyeballer. So we're just gonna eyeball and hope for the best. And you look at my drawing. Maybe we should measure. It doesn't matter. Okay, no, we're not going to, because here's the deal. That's good. She's a big girl, but that's okay. If you had a marker that hadn't given up the ghost, then you just could sort of sketch out the guideline here. You know, like what you want to do. What are you doing here? I can't do that. I knew that when I started, but I did it anyway. We're living on the same cold, don't worry about it. Just kind of try to sketch out. I'm not Bob Ross, I don't know why. It's not like you're following along with me. I don't know why I'm talking about that. I've already confused myself. I can't help but thinking this is a huge hole. I feel like I have already messed up. But I feel like the draw to Solas the draw of it is the balcony to me. I want to see that. Why is that so big? I'm gonna adjust my design here because it's not. It's not cute. So for Solas has a lot of depth to his. He's got inside, outside going on. So we might double up like this. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's do it. It's an X-Acto knife, right? So it's supposed to be exact. Should I be closer? Here, can you see? Do you want to see? It's just me cutting a circle. It's okay. Oh, girl, I didn't even cut through. You know, I shouldn't have chosen a piece with tape on it. That's clear to me now. Okay, so what I'm saying is, it's okay. It's a little crooked. That's okay. Is it crooked? Yeah, it's pretty crooked. But anyway, we're gonna be adding a lot onto this, so it doesn't really matter all that much. But I want to, I don't know, what I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and make the floor, and then we're gonna get started on the clay work. Because I like saying clay work. I don't know if that's a real thing, but I like saying it. I already fucked it up, but don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. I know I'm not worried about it. I once made a whole stone throw. A what? I once made a whole stone throne out of cardboard and tape. I mean, you couldn't sit in it. One thing I have is a Pringles can. And I'm going to use one thing I want to do is I want to have a little pool out in the balcony with a little sundial in it. I think that'll look really cute. So I'm just going to turn this little Pringle can lid into a pool. We need to cut the balcony. We need to go ahead and cut the pool. The balcony, I think, would just kind of... Right? Just, you know, all of this is gonna be covered. It's gonna be detailed. It's not, it doesn't matter that much. She's cute. Remember the Alamo. She's not symmetrical. Don't come at me for my X-Acto technique. I understand the dangers. I'm okay with them. Blood is blood, skin is skin. Okay. You know, I've never done this in front of an audience, but I am the best. Okay. It's also really hot in here. By the way, I'm in a garage. Girl, that's gonna look pretty good. I do have to check, I do have to fix this though, and we're just gonna eyeball it because I'm an idiot. Okay. So, According to the sketch, according to the canon, according to the texts, we have some claying to do, some clay work. Okay, so I want to start with her. And okay. Oh, sensations. Let's just sort of see how we do. I have these little tools. I've been dying to use them. I don't know what they're for. Oh, probably not for this. Oh, no, not for that. Just don't show this part. I'm doing this little ring here around the rose, around the balcony door, because we want to do some rune work, some runes, some glyphs all up in this mug, all up in this gig. I take that back. I have played with clay, used clay pretty much to this effect, which was I think I ended up going a different direction once I figured out that it wasn't going to work. In the venue in which I was demanding it to work, this is. Do I have to wet it first? I should have read the instructions, the restructions. I was so excited for this, and it's really disappointing me in this moment, but we're gonna trust the process. Okay, if we get into the mind of the clay worker, get into the mind of, I guess this would be, this is gonna end up being gold. So yeah, let's talk about that. So in this world, don't look at my sweat. This culture and their location, the resources available for them to build with, or what they have used historically, is stuff like obsidian, like lava rock. I know that's not the same thing, but the artist in me doesn't give a shit. It's obsidian, lava rock. They also are like, they're in a desert, so sand, glass, and rock, and gold. This is bananas. This is so disgusting. It's not it, girl. We can't worry about how grotesque it looks at this juncture. We're going for coverage because we really need to be able to. Boy, this smells really not womanly. It's looking medieval, and it's not supposed to look medieval. It's supposed to look like desert death cult realness is what we're going for here. And right now we're getting like Gumby's grandpa who became a door. Which, you know, that's a story. Look, I have paper towels. I'm gonna have to wipe my face off, and I'm gonna get clay all over it. Oh! Fix this line here. I don't know what y'all can see. It's a learning experience for me. I'll have to adjust my processes based on the results of this video. I also don't want it to look like clay. Well, this is gonna be heavy. Girlfriend's gonna be a hefty Gumby's grandpa's doorway. You know, clay workers of the world, rise up. Tell me where I fucked up. Tell me where I fucked up, where I fucked up with my clay. Okay. Fat girls in town. And we're just trying to smooth her out, like Lumpy Space Princess. Like, just smooth it out. Okay, so now I need a shower. I just want it to behave. Okay, that looks pretty cool. Isn't this riveting? Isn't this riveting? Let's talk some more about if you can see me for the sheen of sweat. Here, I'm the one that's the sweat. the sweat. So I wanted to talk to you about Jesus. Let's talk about this whole idea of Zoom calls giving us an insight into the character spaces of individuals. I just think this is so cool, and of course it came out of a really terrible era. It is ongoing, but I think it is something that inspired me in those moments where you're stuck online and you're looking through these little windows at everyone, and you're seeing, of course, like you always do online, of just, well, really in life in general, but just what someone's projecting out into the world. You're seeing these like tokens of their humanity, and you're seeing these storylines that played out in their lives or are currently playing out in their lives, just pictures they have or art they've collected. You see their pets, you see their children sometimes, you see their naked husbands. You can see the floor of the garage is actually the shelf, and that's what you don't know. And so all of that stuff falling down is actually no big tea because it's the shelf. So if we put this idea into like narrative storytelling, like, and we'll talk about it on the stream much more, and with DS2, who is much smarter than I am and much more studied in the ways of the Force. But we'll just see like how effective this is in films where the first time you see someone, a character, you understand so much about what their arc might be, their wants, their desires. Luke Skywalker at the homestead in A New Hope, that plays into the understanding of what that character wants in his life and what to expect from his arc. What does Solas want in the world? Solas, like I said, is perfect. Solas only wants world peace, happiness, in return to the American way, which tells you everything you need to know about him, honestly. I feel like each time I do that, I'm getting like cement smeared across my face, but I can't see my face. And neither can you. Okay, yeah, one last thing I need to do. My little runes here, and make this all look really purposeful. So these are essentially, they're not random, but they don't mean a whole lot. I have to be honest with you. We have not got so far as to build our text yet for this culture. We've got a little bit of like the aesthetic in the movie, but it's, right, we're just not there yet, to be honest with you. So what these marks are essentially, when I storyboard, I like to just put kind of placeholders so I'll know like I want texture here or whatever. And so I'm just looking at what my sketch says. So they're basically like placeholder runes, but that's okay. Like I'm sure when we develop the full text or script, I guess is what I mean. It'll be based off of this. This will probably end up being like a proto text for what we end up going with ultimately. Eventually we will have a robust script that adheres to the grammar rules of the language and all of that. But we're still in the development of the language phase. I mean, we've got quite a large lexicon of words, at least. For utility. Outside of that, we still have a lot of hands-on work we need to do with a lot of thought and intent to serve the story with the language before we dedicate ourselves to the script. This is looking better, I think, than it could. I'm not going to say it looks, fantastic or nothing, but yeah, so this is the last step I think I'm going to do for now. Let the let the, what is this called? Clay? Let the clay do its, little clay magic. I like this one. She's really good. Okay, here. This looks good. This is a good close-up. Can I just say that? This is a good close-up. Okay. So, she's getting there. I just want it to look really vivacious. If it could look like ornacia too, that would look good, but vivacious would be enough. Okay, I didn't really brag, it was stupid to begin with, but about like, I'm an eyeballer, I don't measure. Well, there's a reason why you shouldn't take that advice, because you're looking at it. Okay, bye. Look at these shadows, girl. Oh. Can you rack with me? I don't think you can. Okay, note to self, rap on the green screen. That looks like shit. Okay.